Hello, welcome to our Wednesday webinar. Today you're gonna see how to plan wall panels like you see here, step by step, and also how we can save them in the library and also get them from the library into our project. All right, when there are any questions, just let me know in the chat. And now let's just start. So first of all, I will close here the library window and we turn on the smart clicks and we turn on the room dimensions and we click on file and start a new project. So you see that is our default cabinet in the room. And first of all, to get the wall panels, we go in the cabinet and we click here on the drop-down menu for the beneath cabinet. And we take off the checkbox for the plinth legs and we say no plinth. And you see the plinth is disappearing. And we also click on the drop-down menu for the back and we choose no back. And you see we just have 4 pieces left. And for our wall panels, we don't want to have the top and the bottom. So we click here on a smart click on the one corner and delete here the top panel. And then we click on a corner smart click for the bottom and we will delete here the bottom panel. So the first step is done. You see we just have 2 pieces left and we will change here the height of the cabinet to 1600 as well as the width of the cabinet. We also change it to 1600. So the depth of the cabinet, we keep it like this, or we can make it a little bit less than 550. We change it to 350, and we have our frame. So now we don't have trims for this wall panels. We go now to the division tab, and here we choose how many verticals do we want to have. I just type in here 12 and we just drag them and drop them in here. And you see where we go. Yeah, we have now 14 pieces. Yeah, the 12 verticals and the left and the right side. And when you zoom a bit in, you see here they don't have the same size. So to show you this more clearly, we click here again and we will get the top panel back. Yeah, because the verticals, they just go to the top panel and the same on the bottom for the bottom panel. So that's why we also click here on the drop-down menu and we choose here vertical passing through top. Yeah, that is important. Then the top panel is getting divided and the verticals are passing through top and they are on the same size as the left and right ones. So we do need to do the same for the bottom. And here you can do it if you click here on the drop-down menu, but you can also choose here the smart click. If you click here and click here, vertical passing through bottom, then you see they are going to the bottom. So, and we will delete here the top panel again. I just wanted to show you this more clearly. And yeah, now we are pretty much done. If you see you want to have some more or less verticals, you just click here on a smart click for the entire area of the cabinet. Now you see everything is purple colored. You just click on here, and here you can add a middle side. Yeah, you can click add, and you can here also say minus, so you can get one less. Yeah, so you're here flexible. And what you see also here, we still have here the row of folds activated. If we click here on the eye and on a yellow cube, we can change here the view. Here in the glass view, you see we have here the drilling pattern for the row of folds. To get them out, we go here to the interior tab in the drop-down menu for the adjustable shelves, and we activate here group of folds, and we just get the holes if we have a shelf. But here we don't have shelves, so they are disappearing. All right, now we have this, and we can now change also the thickness of the material. Therefore, we click on the eye again and change to a different rendered view. So, and we go in the material tab, and here we choose a different material, which should has a thickness of 40. And here we can choose one. Yeah, you can also double click on the material tab. Then you see here the window is also opening. If you want to use this, you can go on here, and here you can also filter the materials, and you can choose your materials. Yeah, this is just for information. I like to work with this, but some of you like this, prefer this window. Okay, so here we activate also all parts of group, and then we choose here the material. Yeah, we just drag it and drop it on any part, and all materials get the same. Yeah, here you see we need to keep an eye on the edge bending. Yeah, we have here the same material. When we use this with 4 edge bendings, we get here also this texture for the top. All right, this is it so far. And yeah, now we can also click here on the width, on the depth of the cabinet, and we can change it to 40. And you see now our material, our panels has a measurement of 40 and 40. Now, if we keep the control button pressed, click on this corner and on this, you see the X is 40, the Y is 40, and they have the same size. So that is one thing. And if you want to change here the measurement between this, you can also measure this point and this point. Yeah, you see we have here 57.5. You see it also when you click here on one smart click for this area. You see also the width, that is the first value of the area is 57.5. And if you click on here, you can click add middle side and one more again. Yeah, and you see now we just have now a distance of 42, and you can choose how much you want to have. And now it's 38. Okay, in this case, we can leave it like this. And if you want to save this in the library, I recommend to click on I and deactivate the measurements and all the smart clicks. And here you can also activate the room or deactivate everything. And we will open here the library. So, and we may give it a different texture. This. And we also choose here perspective. And then we zoom in here. Yeah, I will make it like look like a square because you see that will also become the preview picture of what you like you see it here. So, and then you click on File and say here Save Single Cabinet. Yes, it is our single cabinet. And we are here in the TrunCAD folder. We go in a bit folder. And here we call it now webinar wall panels. And we save it. And now it's getting saved. You see the pictures of the library are loaded now. Takes a few seconds. And now you see here we have our webinar wall panels. So that's the way how to save this in a library. So here you can, of course, save even more. I will close here the library. And yeah, let's say we want to have also the wall panelings with back, and therefore we activate here the smart clicks again. And we go back to the cabinet tab and we activate now the flat back. And it's coming originally in white. And what you see here, we have also single panels. That is because if we click here on the drop-down menu, we have here the depth of division 1. Yeah, if we change it to 0, then so we just have one back, which is going through the entire cabinet. So here you can also change the distance to side to 0. And yeah, if you want, you can also change the thickness of the material. And you need to consider that the back panel belongs also to the back. Yeah. So if we go to material and we choose now a 25 millimeter back, and I drag this and drop it in here, you see, yeah, the panels are getting thinner. So yeah, you need also choose different material, different thickness. Yeah. If you want to have it now with 25 and 25, the thickness, the depth of the cabinet should be 50. Now we type in here 50 and we choose here this. Yeah, and now we can also measure it. Now we keep the control button pressed. Go on here and here. You see it's 25 and 25. And here we have 50. All right. Yeah, and of course you can change here the height of the cabinet. And if you change here the width of the cabinet, yeah, we need to add here more panels. So we can click on here and add some more verticals. Now just click on plus and they will appear. So yeah, we can go in here. Yeah, now we have a distance between them of 28.79. Yeah, also if you make this like 1600, of course it's getting smaller. Yeah, now they are just 22.73. All right, so that is also to consider. And if you want to save it again, we save it again. We take off all the smart clicks and measurements and open here the library on the bottom right corner. And we click on File and say Save Single Cabinet. And we go in the bib folder. And here we call it also Webinar Wall Panels with Back. And save it. Yeah, and after a few seconds, it's also appearing here in the library. Here we are. So, okay, yeah, now we saved them in the library and we click on the red eye and we will draw the room and also activate the smart clicks. Yeah. If you want, you can deactivate here also the measurements. And if you want to deactivate them, you see usually here the smart click for the cabinet also disappears, but you can make your own selection. Therefore, you keep the control button pressed and you click here on the gray cube, touch areas, and then the smart click select window is opened. Yeah, and here you can activate the smart clicks for the cabinet. You can deactivate the smart clicks for the area, but then we can't add anymore. So I will keep this, and we cannot deactivate here the smart clicks for the measurements. We close this, yeah, and now you see we only have here the smart clicks where we can like delete the middle side, and we have this smart click. Yeah, and here we can change the distance to the left, like to 500. Yeah, or when we want to lift them up, we can also click on here and change the distance to the bottom, also like 600. So that is one way to do it. And I will close the library. We click here on File and we start a new project. We don't need to save this. So that is our single cabinet. Yeah, you see the dimensions are not there because we deactivate them. When we want to change the dimension of the cabinet, we can also go here to the Cabinet tab, click here on the three dot button, and here we can also change the height like to 2000 and the depth like to 800. That's also needs to be 2000, not 200. 1000 and change this. Yeah, and you can go to the library again, and yeah, here you can add the wall panels, and they are coming in the size where we saved them. But when you change here the height of this, yeah, I just changed the height to 600, and we can drag in and drop in on here. Then it will be added here on the top. Yeah, or when we want to have here the bottom one, we can also change the height to 800. The depth is okay, and width we also keep it like this, and we drag it and drop it on here. Yeah, if you drag it and drop it on the back, it will come on the back. If you drag it and drop it here on the front smart click, it will also be attached on the front. Yeah, that is how you can work with them. And of course, later on, you still, if you click here, can change the distance to left, to the back, and to the bottom. And here you can also add the middle sides, verticals. So yeah, that is if you already have cabinets in here. We click on File and start a new project again. We don't save this. Yeah, if you want to start on the beginning with the wall panel links, then you just double click on it and we start the project with wall panels, with the back in this case. And yeah, you can also change the dimensions when they are not here. You can also click on here and go in the settings. And here you can also change the height and the width of it. After saving it, yeah, it will also be here. All right. I think that is clear so far. And yeah, I hope I could help you and that you learned something new. And I'm looking forward to the next time. Next week, we are on the ferry in Hanover. That's why there don't will be a webinar, and you can check the webinar plan if you click here on the webinar button. And then the webinar plan is appearing. I just drag in and drop in here. Yeah, you see next week we are on we will be at the Ligna in Hanover, and the webinar plan for June will be updated in here. And you see these webinars you find, I minimize this. If you click here on help and you click here on free tutorial, then our online academy is opening. And if you click here on start our webinars on the top right corner, you see here the webinars will be uploaded in here. All right. Thank you for your attention and see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.